Hello friends, welcome back to Lulu Ladybug Creations. Today we're going to be doing a cup specially for dads. Hi, I'm Christy and I'm the owner and creator. If y'all need to reach out to me, I have my email listed on this page at lululadybugcreations@yahoo.com. Across all three social media pages, you can reach me at Lulu Ladybug Creations. I hope you enjoy the beauty of handmade. So we're going to start off with these materials. This 12 by 12s that I got, the green, brown, I got from Michael's, and this camouflage I got from Hobby Lobby. Now we're going to go ahead and measure this tumbler because we are going to use half of this camouflage vinyl to cover just half the tumbler. Now we're going to go ahead and mark off our measurements, and we're going to use our Cricut cutter to cut out a straight line on this vinyl. All right, so now what we're going to do is make sure it's straight on the tumbler, and by measuring how straight it is, I'm using the top and the bottom of the tumbler to make sure I have the same equal amount of the stainless steel showing after the vinyl has been placed on there. Now I'm going to use a little bit of painter's tape to hold it in place, and then what we'll do is cut off about a ½ inch and use it as a hinge method to place the tumbler. Place the vinyl on the tumbler. I will then get a large squeegee. Once I make sure that it's laid down as flat as possible so that there's no air bubbles, we are going to help it along to make sure that we don't create air bubbles by using this large squeegee I got from the Bowen. Now there was a little bit of excess vinyl is what you're seeing me here take off, but we'll use the rough end of the squeegee just to make sure that there's no air bubbles that get caught underneath the vinyl. All right, so now we're going to use some painter's tape to tape off the vinyl because we're going to paint the stainless steel portion of the tumbler with some acrylic paint, and we want to make sure that we don't get no paint on the vinyl. Now we're going to use some acrylic paint to paint the stainless steel portion of the tumbler using a soft bristle brush, not bristle brush, a makeup brush that I got from the Dollar Tree. And we are going to paint the stainless steel portion of the tumbler in Espresso from Craftsmart. Now, if you notice, it's going to take a couple of coats to paint the stainless steel portion because I don't want any of the stainless steel to show. Now, I don't remember how many coats it took me, but we will get it covered really good so that it gets covered fully with the espresso. Now, I did have a little bit of thickness that came out from the paint, which is what you seen me wipe off. Now we're going to go ahead and take off all of our painter's tape and move on to the next step. Now our next step is going to be to place a coat of epoxy on this tumbler so that we can move forward with our decals and our striping. This extra vinyl, we're going to use to cut out our word Dad. Now here we are after a coat of epoxy, and we're going to move on to our next step, which would be to add our striping to the edge of the vinyl. Now I cut out the striping using a forest green and a brown. Now, I didn't get the measurements of the striping. I do apologize. I have to remember to get the measurements whenever I cut out stripings. But we're going to go ahead and place striping around the vinyl. All right, so now I'm going to use my Dremel and a flat wheel sanding, rotating attachment that we have on the Dremel to sand off the rim of the tumbler so that we can show a little bit of stainless steel so that we can create another little, I guess what you call, because when we put on our next coat of epoxy, it's going to have to grip onto something. So that's what we're doing here. We're sanding down the rim of the tumbler so that we can have that to the epoxy can grip onto. We're going to move on to our brown striping, and we're placing the brown striping over the green striping. Now, I should have left it just green because the brown kind of made it almost disappear, made the green disappear, I guess. So I should have left it without the brown, but it's okay. It still came out really well, really nice. So we're going to get all that striping around the vinyl as well, on top of the green striping. All right, our striping has been put in place. Now we're going to trim out this decal that I got from Slide Hustle on Etsy, and we were going to place this on the camouflage portion of the tumbler. Now I'm trimming off as close to the edge as I can get so that none of that clear backing doesn't show through on the tumbler after epoxy has been placed. And as always, we're going to use the hinge method. Make sure it's placed right in the center of the tumbler on the side where the vinyl is, and lay it down flat. All right, our next step is to get the word Dad placed on the tumbler, and this first portion is going to be the forest green lettering that I cut out using Cricut, and I'm going to place some parchment paper down so that it helps me to not permanently place the word dad down until I know I have it centered correctly in the brown portion of the tumbler. Now taking some measurements, making sure, now of course measurements really didn't do me no good because I ended up having to replace it. I did trim off the bottom of the bottom and the top of the wording so that I could see it placed on the tumbler better. So after we get this centered and placed on the tumbler, then we'll go on with our camouflage top lettering and place it over the green letter by letter using our transfer tape. At this point, I thought I was done, so I went ahead and started to put my little logo down at the bottom of the tumbler. Now, I don't know what happened, but as I was placing the logo down at the bottom of the tumbler, I always have to weed out the little ladybug and the L of the word. And when I was trying to weed this out while it was on the tumbler, I don't know if I didn't sand it well enough down at the bottom, but you'll see here shortly when I'm weeding it out, some of the paint starts to come up right there. I noticed it. So I placed it back down and I thought, you know what? This is not going to get weeded out. It's going to have to stay a little solid ladybug because it wasn't working. I don't know. I guess I need to be careful and make sure I sand down the bottom of the tumbler just as good as I do all around the sides of the tumbler. But we're going to go ahead and leave that as is. I wasn't too happy with that, but it's okay. We're going to still make it work. I was looking at the tumbler and I started to think, okay, well, this side looks good, but this side looks too plain. I should have made the letters Dad larger, but because I didn't, there was a lot of excess brown that I wasn't too satisfied with. So with the green vinyl, I cut out some images. And I cut out pretty much hunting images, a deer, ducks, a rifle, fishing, and a target. And we're going to place that in the green around the brown area of the tumbler. all these images have been placed on the tumbler. We'll go in with our final coat of epoxy and let it cure overnight, and then this cup is done. Here are some photos that I took outside, and I have a video showing all around. If you notice, when I am doing the video of the finished tumbler, you'll see some raindrops on the cup because it started to sprinkle when I was outside taking photos. But this is it. I hope y'all really do like this tumbler. If you're interested in this tumbler, email me at lululadybugcreations@yahoo.com, and we can get this sent out to you. So again, I really do want to thank y'all for watching this video. I want y'all to please go check out my description. I have a wish list on there from Amazon. And again, if y'all have any comments, any suggestions, leave them in the comment section below. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and tap that bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. And stay till the end to watch the next video I have for you. Thank you for watching.